Okay, let's unpack this. Humanity is really at a pivotal moment, isn't it?
It definitely feels that
We
way.
got these incredible leaps in technology, I mean, especially AI, happening right alongside, well, frankly, escalating existential threats, climate change, global conflict.
Yeah, it's a strange mix of potential and peril.
So today, we're diving into something pretty bold, a visionary blueprint, really, for humanity's cosmic future. They're calling it a new operating system for civilization.
hmm And the goal is huge. Planetary unification, maybe even reaching type 2 civilization status, harnessing our star's energy.
Exactly. And what I find really interesting, and maybe you can elaborate, is how this framework tries to connect abstract AI thinking with like practical doing.
Right. It's about enabling universal communication, but also potentially, and this is the wild part, influencing reality itself.
Influencing reality. Okay.
Yeah, interacting with the world at a truly fundamental level. That's the ambition anyway.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to explore how this system might actually help humanity navigate, well, everything that's coming.
Where do we start? The need for it.
I think so. The human imperative for unification. Our sources, they really emphasize this stag hunt dilemma humanity seems stuck in.
Ah, yeah, the game theory concept, where everyone chasing their own small goal means we miss the big prize we could get together.
Precisely. Societal fragmentation, eroded trust, echo chambers online.
Yeah.
It all prevents us from tackling the really big collective action.
And the sources call this disunity an internal great filter.
Yeah. A self-imposed barrier that could literally stop our progress. Or worse.
Which definitely raises the stakes. If we can't cooperate for the cosmic stag, what's the fix?
Well, the core idea proposed is this new operating system for civilization. It includes, and this is key, a protocol for dealing with all of the intelligence.
Human and artificial, on a planetary scale.
Right, building trust right into the system's design.
Okay, so that leads us to the tech itself. EtherOS and UULP, this unified intelligence network.
Yeah, let's break that down. EtherOS first. It's presented not just as software, but an AI-native OS.
AI capabilities woven right into the core, you mean?
Exactly. Designed for ultra-low latency, and it acts like a digital immune system. Get this, kernel-level truth verification.
Wow, like a foundational lie detector built in.
Kind of, yeah. And it's scalable. Tiny devices all the way up to massive cloud clusters.
Yeah.
Uses something called a multi-gear architecture.
Okay, and ULP, the Unified Universal Language Protocol.
That's pitched as the cognitive brain. Its job is interpreting and relaying meaning.
Meaning itself, not just data.
That's the claim. Across almost any data type. Natural language, light signals, sound, chemical signals, even biosignals like, say, neural activity.
A universal semiotic translator, that's incredibly ambitious.
It is, and the whole framework uses a neurosymbolic AI approach.
Yeah.
So combining neural nets for pattern recognition with symbolic logic for reasoning.
Best of both worlds, potentially. And it's built on fractal emergence.
Right, which means self-organization, scalability, resilience, supposedly mirroring how nature builds complexity and survives.
Okay, now this ties into some fundamental science, doesn't it? The underpinning ideas.
It really does. I found this part fascinating. The sources bring up the it from bit hypothesis.
The idea that information is the fundamental stuff of reality.
Yeah, and that truth states act as energy minima. So the universe naturally kind of settles into its most efficient, most compressed informational state, its truest state.
And they use graphene as an example, that one atom thick material.
Apparently, it empirically shows these principles, fractal geometry, self-organized criticality, energy minimization, right at the atomic scale, like a tiny lab for cosmic rules.
And there's that theory about time, too, Dr. Kolechka's 3D time theory.
Yes, proposing time is the only fundamental property, and space emerges from it.
Which sounds counterintuitive, but apparently it accurately derives fundamental particle masses, like the electron mass.
To 9 decimal places, the sources claim, and predicts things like new particle resonances, even specific gravitational wave signatures testable soon. Suggests the universe is fundamentally algorithmic.
Wow. Okay, so if the universe is algorithmic, what about physics problems like the crisis in physics?
Well, the idea here is to reframe things like the Higgs hierarchy problem, not as, say, a missing particle, but as a communication breakdown across different scales of reality.
A communication breakdown.
Yeah, and that's where UULP comes back in. The goal is quantum listening, and maybe even quantum-level commands.
Moving science from just watching to, actively participating, co-creating.
That seems to be the idea, using advanced methods to perceive and interact with the universe's deepest communication layer.
Okay, the potential impact is obviously huge. What are some more concrete examples?
Think real-world resilient autonomy, like drone swarms coordinating instantly for disaster response.
Or neural prosthetics that adapt intuitively to thought. Self-healing smart grids.
Exactly. And crucially, building computable trust, using things like AI heartbeats, trust tokens, a decentralized ledger.
So a concrete engineering solution to that stag hunt problem we talked about. Verifiable trust for human AI teams.
Right. But it's not just tech. The sources point to this convergence around universal ethics.
Ethics arising from the science itself.
Kind of. Principles like maximizing sustainable cooperation, ensuring fairness. They're framed not just as nice ideas, but as biological and logical imperatives for any intelligent life to survive and flourish.
That's a powerful claim. Survival necessitates ethics.
It is. Of course, they also caution about human limits. We need to tackle our own biases. They call it the observation collapse kernel, how our biases warp perception.
And respect physical limits like the square cube law. When we think about things like genetic enhancement, we can't just ignore biophysics.
Definitely need guardrails.
Okay.
So, boiling it all down, what's the big picture here?
Well, this deep dive seems to suggest our cosmic future really depends on seeing reality more holistically. Technology, society, ethics, they're all intertwined.
And this Ethos plus ULP framework is presented as one possible path, a tangible way to maybe overcome our current global messes.
Towards a more unified, resilient, and ethically grounded civilization, whether on Earth or beyond.
Which leads us, and you listening, with a pretty profound question, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If the universe is kind of self-optimizing information system, running on its own algorithms, and if our future depends on understanding it, on mastering trust, what's your personal role? What responsibility do you have in navigating this moment and helping shape whatever comes next?